I totally howled the other day when I'm scrolling through social media and seeing that post, how that the couple that got busted at the Coldplay concert and how she blamed the poor decisions on high noons, and I was like, Tommy, Tommy.
They're in Boston, right? Like we have mutual connections to both of those people.
Do you know them, Razor? Happy holidays, everybody. It's the Clearing the Crease podcast. I'm Sabalski. That's Kami. That's Razor. And hey, just a quick reminder to everybody that we are on all social channels. If you're not following us, find us already at Clearing the Crease. You can find us on Instagram, on X, on TikTok, and also podcast form. Not only are we on YouTube, but as you know, hopefully some of you have already found us on Apple or on Spotify. Holiday shopping, is it done, Razor? Did you get it all done? Are we in relax mode now?
Yeah, I don't stress too much. I mean, other than probably my wife getting too much stuff for everybody, I stress about that, but she does all of it. So I'll grab the kids and take them out and get mom a couple things this weekend, or before the holidays, like the day before or right at the last second. But yeah, pretty stress free. We got a quiet one. We're at home. We'll host. I'll get groceries and we'll be good to go.
All right, Kami. On the flip side, I'm assuming do you go home? Do you see your folks at this time of the year?
Yes, I usually do. My mother doesn't ask much of me, but since I have retired, one thing she kind of has asked is that I show my face around the holidays if I'm not in town at that time. That's really all she asks. She doesn't ask for more. But this year, I'm not going to. She didn't ask, but I did check in. I think I'm going to go back a little bit more towards New Year's. I'm glad you guys brought up the shopping. I have bought nothing at all. Zero. I haven't even considered it, but I need to start being a better uncle. And I'm glad you guys brought it up because my brother has 3 kids, a little girl that's 7 and twin boys that are 5, or they might be 8 and 6 now, but right in there. I need to get them some stuff because it doesn't take much. And they don't.
No, that's fun shopping for that stuff. Like those are perfect ages.
Yeah.
You can get fun, cool stuff, and like you said, it doesn't. It's literally like a box.
All I got to do is message my brother's wife and be like, "Hey, is there something in particular, or what kind of stuff?" And I can find something down here. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter. And so I got to get better at that. I'm awful at it. So I got some work to do.
When you show up, like, are you the fun uncle?
You know what? I'm not here to lie.
You know what? Here, buddy.
When they were young, I got to be honest, it scared the shit out of me. Like I was like, they're so small, and I'm like, God, and they didn't look at me like I was some kind of animal. But as they've gotten a little bit older, and a little bit more of I've never had kids, so all this is, I'm like, I go over there for like 15 minutes, and I'm like, get me out of here. These kids are driving me nuts. But as they've gotten older, more personality, the boys are starting to play soccer. They're all kind of doing things and stuff. So I'm having more fun with it now. Unfortunately, I'm just not around all that much, but I guess I'm working on it would be the best way to put it. I'm working on it. Yeah.
You're working on it.
It's not a comfortable situation for me, but I'm working on it. Working on getting better.
Lean into it. The presents will,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It doesn't take. No, you're right. You're right. I couldn't agree more. I need to be better that way for sure.
I feel just on your personality and as Razor and I as dads, I think it's easy to see that you could easily embrace this role. You've got a good warmth to you, buddy.
The fun uncle, the uncle that gives good advice that dad can't give.
Not drunk uncle from Saturday Night Live, right?
No, I don't want to be drunk uncle. No. I don't want to do that. Believe it or not, when I'm around my parents and stuff, like there's it ain't cracking and having a few high noons. Let's say that. It's nice and calm, and there's none of that. It's like I'm back in high school. In my eyes to my parents, I've been in junior high school for like 30 years now. But whatever.
I totally howled the other day when I'm scrolling through social media and seeing that post, how that the couple that got busted at the Coldplay concert and how she blamed the poor decisions on high noons, and I was like, Tommy.
Couple high noons. I mean, you make
Gets
some
everybody.
bad decisions. I'm on that team, Kristen. I think her first name's Kristen. Hey, forget about it, Kristen. No big deal.
Give me a
They're in
call.
Boston, right? Like we have mutual connections to both of those people.
Do you know them, Razor?
I don't know them. No, I don't know anybody. But my wife kind of knows someone who knows someone in this whole thing. So it's been, the burbs here in Boston just are lapping this story.
Oh yeah, I feel like
go
there's
to
a new
school together and
series.
stuff,
Is Desperate Housewives of Boston out there yet?
Yeah. Essentially, that's what it is. Yeah. So it's good stuff for everybody.
I mean, obviously they were doing something they shouldn't have. That they shouldn't have been doing that or whatever. But I did kind of feel bad for him. I mean, you obviously are doing something you shouldn't. Okay, wake up that you shouldn't be doing that. But, you're having a nice moment at a concert and then you just get torched.
Oh, man.
They should have shown a little bit more moxie, but I guess if you just, Well,
if they had owned it, no one would ever have known either. That's the one that gets me.
Just keep kind of dancing or whatever camera moves, but just pure panic.
Well, but here we are kind of end of the year, and you think like the news cycle moves so fast now and various stories. And I mean, man, you look at all the stuff happening in the world and global conflicts and obviously trade disputes that have been going on and all those concerns. But man, low key, that story is one that it's kind of radio silence last 5 months, but man, that is one of the stories of the year.
It stuck around for more than a day, that one. That was around that was a good week or so. I feel like big news just getting roasted.
When you factor in the divorce rate on the planet, and you figure they're not the only ones, but man, if you're gonna crash, that is one of the more epic, spectacular crash and burn relationships in recent memories. Speaking of crashing and burning, that's what we do regularly at the Clearing the Crease podcast when we play our poker tournaments, and we've got another one coming up on December 28th. Well, maybe not Commie. Commie's pretty good. Razor and I seem to go down in a blaze of glory more times than not, but it's coming up December 28th. Look for links on our social channels on Clearing the Crease for your chance. It's free to join. It's free to play. And there is real cash prizes to be won. So that's coming up on December 28th. Make sure you are joining us. I think we had almost 200 players the last time we played. So the secret's out. So come and play with us. There's bonus money up for grabs if you take down Commie or if you knock out Razor or yours truly. So December 28th, always fun, isn't it, Razor?
It's the best. I love it. And it's a perfect time of year to win a little money back over the holidays. Sunday night, football night. It's perfect. So the 28th, don't miss it.
Yeah, Commie, you're in the season of taking, right? You're taking chips here.
That's right. Taking some chips. I won some bets last night too at the sports book. But anyways, I'm kind of hot right now. A little bit.
You are on a hot streak. There you go.
Hopefully I can ride it.
You're going to have to earn this.
I know. You got to earn this money.
See that, people? You're going to have to earn this money.
That's right.
There we go. Right. So that's coming up December 28th. In the meantime, every Saturday, we pick 3 winners and try to help you get paid with our Clearing the Crease podcast Saturday special. So we're looking to December 27th, holiday break. Everybody across the league will have a couple of days to load up on stuffing and turkey and family time before we drop the puck again after the holiday break. Where are we looking for picks for Saturday night for the December 27th slate? Commie, you get first pick this time.
Okay. God, I'm kind of waffling right now, but a couple days off. Eating up. I'm going Chicago and Dallas. Is Bodog back? What's his timeline?
Not till January.
Okay.
Not till January.
Okay, well, that sealed it then for me. I was thinking about flipping it and going with Chicago, but I'm not going to think too much. I was thinking Dallas is playing great. Hey, what the hell? I'll have an extra couple beers at Christmas. Give me a little more food. And then on the 27th, they're slow. But Bodog needs to be there for me. So Chicago is in Dallas. Chicago's going to Dallas, and then they're going home to play Pittsburgh on a back-to-back. The second part's at home. I'm going to say they're just going to be looking forward to pounding on Pittsburgh. I'll take Dallas at home.
Okay, that's a solid pick.
Not real risky, I know, but
Razor, no. And Razor, you got burned by Chicago a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I did. I believed in them.
But Bodog got hurt before that. We had
that was some bad luck.
These picks. There's a few days in between by the time we get to those Saturdays, and sometimes injuries happen. So, Race, what are you looking for Saturday?
I'm going what I think should be a little less risque. I kind of went back and forth on the home ice, visiting ice. Like, is it good to get away? Is it good for the teams? But I think at the end of the day, the home team still has a bit of an advantage here on this first game back. So I'm staying in commie country. I'm taking the Carolina Hurricanes over the Detroit Red Wings. Long flight for Detroit. I think Carolina will find a way.
That's pretty vague when you say commie country. When I start thinking Tampa,
it's the entire
Carolina, Columbus,
New Jersey, Ottawa,
Calgary, Ottawa,
Vladivostok,
commie country. Just like
Hamilton.
It's like looking at the British Empire map from like about 200 years ago, right? And then kind of look at commie country. You kind of look at a map, and it's like, oh, look at all the
spread
places
out everywhere. Cincinnati,
Cincinnati. There we go. There's another one. Okay, rounding out the triple. Give me the Oilers in Calgary, Battle of Alberta. I like how the Oilers are playing right now. Razor, to your credit, you've kind of stayed the course with Edmonton, knowing that they'd at some point figure it out. And when you got McDavid and Draisaitl, that's two good reasons to keep the faith. But give me the Oilers right now to knock off the Flames in Calgary, Battle of Alberta. I feel like it's a little risky just because with that rivalry, you kind of throw the records out. But
Connor's feeling it. Feeling it.
There we go. Just the way he has leveled up here in the last couple of weeks. Okay, let's dive in as we take a look. The news kind of dropping before the last podcast we recorded, like literally after we kind of sent it away for our producers to take care of. What comes out? The Buffalo Sabres decide to make a change. Kevin Adams out as general manager in Buffalo. Your old teammate there, Kami.
Yes.
Jarmo Kekalainen, veteran executive formerly with the Blue Jackets, taking over. Look, I mean, the Sabres kind of gotten on a roll here in the midst of this firing, and they've kind of kept the good times going. But this felt long overdue, guys. Like, Razor, I mean, you've seen this team a lot with the natural rivalry with the Bruins over the years, but this just felt inevitable and long overdue.
Yeah, you got 5.5 years out of it, which
he was there for
great.
5.5?
5.5,
yes,
yeah.
5.5.
I thought he was there for like 3. Maybe
just
sorry.
Mediocrity. Like it was overdue time.
I think mediocrity would have been nice.
Yeah. No, they would have taken mediocrity. They would have taken a 9th place in the wet Eastern Conference. Jarmo Kekalainen was hired over the summer. It seemed very obvious, unless they got into the playoffs early and were in a playoff spot, that this was inevitable. Mm-hmm. They need something to change. They need to change the culture. He's got his hands full because for whatever reason, nothing seems to be working there. And unfortunately for Kevin Adams, it's one of those ones where you do need some experience to do this job well. Your buddy Kenny Hall and Kami, like these guys know exactly how to play it, what kind of temperament you need to have, when you need to pull the trigger, when do you need to stay out of the way, all these things that come with experience. It just seems so vital to me in that position more than coaching even. And they just didn't have it. Kevin didn't have it, and it felt like he was behind the 8 ball the entire time, all the way up until the day he got fired. So it needed to be done, and but the jury's still out on whether this actually does anything for the Buffalo Sabres, in my opinion.
Well, Kami, let me throw this at you. Like, just kind of talk about Kami country and all that, but have you ever run into a situation? Does a firing of a manager spark the room?
That is a very good question.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I was around. I don't think I was ever around for a general man. My first instinct is not really.
Yeah.
You shouldn't really, some guys are different, but you shouldn't, I'll just go out. Ken Holland's been around forever. He's done a very good job in Edmonton and Detroit. It's not like you saw Ken all the time. Like, I don't think a general manager should be down in the locker room all the time. Like, the only time you should see, maybe once in a while is fine, but like if you see him, you should be a little nervous, like things aren't going great or he's pissed off. You know what I mean? It's not supposed to be like buddy. So I don't think so. To touch on Kevin, Kevin's a good guy. I've known Kevin for a long time, and he is a very nice guy. The experience thing, like I think everybody was a little surprised. Like, you go from running the Sabres youth program to running the Sabres. That seems like a pretty big jump to me. And talk experience. And, I think a lot of this too, it's kind of I don't want to call it, well, it is an old boys club. Relationships go a long way too. Ken's been around for 40 years or whatever. He knows all these guys. They
all each other favors for 40
100%.
Right?
Yeah. It all kind of comes around. And, Kevin just didn't have any experience there. So, it's too bad, but is it going to fire up the Sabres? I'm not sure. I do think I can speak for the Buffalo Sabre fan. I think they're sick and tired of seeing Carolina Hurricanes alumni in their front office. I mean, it's Kevin Adams. Kevin Adams hired Eric Stahl. Carmanos is there. I've noticed a little bit. Every once in a while, I like to reach out to Buffalo. I like Buffalo, and I think the league's a better place when the Sabres are good.
Agreed. It was well said.
Yeah, when they were. I think that was the best series that I think I was ever in. And probably the most fun too, like off the ice, was when we played Buffalo in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I'll be the first one to say it. We got lucky. I think we had a better team, but there was a lot of luck involved too. Some penalties. They were so injured. But your Sabres fan, I think, is awesome. So I have a soft spot for Buffalo. So I hope they turn it around. What that is, I don't know. I don't know if it's a country club, who knows, but I hope they turn it around.
Yeah. You look at the deals too look at the roster and some of the players that they've had. Look, there's talent on that roster, but, Kevin Adams navigating the trade for Jack Eichel, and where does Jack Eichel go on? Hoisting a Stanley Cup in Vegas. How about Sam Reinhart, right, in Florida? What has Sam Reinhart turned into, right?
Two of them.
Right?
Got rings all over the place, these guys.
Well, and how about the other situation, post Ryan Miller? Well, the Sabres haven't really had a goaltender. Linus Ullmark there, Razor.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You can. There's been some images that people have posted on social, starting lineup from about 5-6 years ago, and you look at it, it's like a murderer's row. Wow, look at that franchise lineup. You'd be set with that core, and somehow everything seems to turn to mush. And here's hoping this is a step in the right direction. Sorry, Con-
I will say one thing, and I met Yarmo once, but I had way too much to drink at Rick Nash's jersey retirement. So it was actually kind of embarrassing, and I got nothing against the guy, but everybody's kind of talking like this guy, and he did a good job in Columbus. I will say that, but I don't know about him either personally. The first thing that comes to mind for me, and maybe it's because I just got to, but when he hired Babs, which whatever, hire him, that's fine. But then after Babs does what he does, and then that press conference when he sat there, to me, and thanking Mike Babcock for his hard work and for 10 minutes, I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, what are you thanking this guy for? You did him a huge favor. He made you look like an asshole. And unless you guys win, you're going to get canned this year. Sure enough, 4 months later, beat it. So I don't know about Yarmo either, but he does seem like a nice guy. So we'll see, I guess.
Wow. Yarmo, I guess in one breath, you kind of look at how fearless he was when he went all in for that 1 year. But where did it set the franchise, right? To go 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Right. They won a round. They swept the Lightning that 1 year before Tampa won back-to-back cups, right?
Yeah, and their only round.
Wow. Ever. And then right after Bobrovsky, I'm out, Panarin, I'm gone. And all these trades that they had made to try to, it was to win a round, right? Yeah. It wasn't sustainable. And so to push all your chips in. Anyway, we'll see how things ultimately play out in Buffalo. Okay, look, it's the holidays. Let me throw this at you. Tate McRae at a Flames game recently. There she is in the crowd, waving, smiling. And, we see this regularly. Obviously, New York City is a hub for celebrities. Los Angeles, a hub for celebrities. Toronto, obviously, a very passionate place. You get a lot of rock stars coming and going through certain markets. So I throw this at both of you. What's the best celebrity encounter you've had from your days as a player with somebody rolling through? Kami?
Oh, first off, one question about the Tate McRae thing. Did she get booed at the Dome, or did they cheer for her?
I think she got some love. She was smiling and waving. She had the old school. She had the horse's head.
She had the horse head. Yeah, I saw the picture. Okay, I was just wondering. I like Tate McRae. I spent way too much. My girlfriend loves her. Spent way too much money at the Cowboys tent to see her. Actually, I'm still pissed off about. But, she said a couple things lately, with the mic in front of her. Well, I'm an LA girl now. Calgary doesn't feel like home. I'll tell you what, the people, bad Razor. People weren't too impressed. No. People in Calgary don't want to hear, it's not home anymore. I'm an LA girl. Calgary, this. Anyways, get off that. Get back to the point of the question. Hopefully she got some cheers. She does seem very nice. My two, the two that I always go back to, they're big time celebrities for me. Kid Rock, Game 7 after we beat the Oilers was on the ice. That was awesome. Metallica on the Flames run, when we met Metallica, it was after we were just about to start playing the Sharks. So we had just beat Detroit. That night was incredible going out with them, and still to this day, probably the greatest.
Was that in Calgary or was that in
Calgary?
Was that in San Jose?
Yeah, no, that was in Calgary. Yeah, so we had just beat the Wings, and the Metallica was playing before we started. We opened up in San Jose. Anyways, we met a couple of the guys. Chris Simon hooked it up because he knew the bassist Rob. Ended up going out with him. It was awesome. That would be one night where, I felt like the man. I'm like, I am a rock star right now. It was awesome. I could still have visions of upstairs at Cowboys, pool table to my right, security everywhere, and just people and girls just wanting to be a part of it. And I remember sitting there looking, and I'm like, I am the man right now. Anyways, Cuba Gooding Jr. would be another one. He's always around, loves hockey.
Yeah, he was in Vancouver a bunch in the early 2000s. Yeah, nice guy.
He is a very nice guy. I've seen him a bunch of times. He still goes to a bunch of games. I think he's down in Florida now. I'm trying to think of one in Columbus. Is Kirk Herbstreit a celebrity? He would be, right?
Yeah, if you're a college football fan, he's a household name if you're a football fan. Yeah,
he was a big Blue Jacket fan when I was there because he went to Ohio State. He lived in town. He moved to Nashville after. I think he's cheering for the Preds now, but originally a Blue Jackets fan. So those would be some for me.
All right, Razor, how about you?
It's funny. I haven't thought about this in a really long time, and even when I was probably meeting all these people, I hadn't really taken too much stock into it. Yeah. But it's pretty funny, actually. There's a lot of people randomly. Toronto, of course, you had a lot of people come in after games. So I met Prime Minister Stephen Harper after a game. Peter Mansbridge.
He's a big hockey fan.
Yeah, Peter Mansbridge, obviously the national. He came in and I talked to him for an hour nights. Remember Peter, Bjorn, and John, the Swedish band that sings they had a bunch of hits. They were buddies with Matt's. They came into the room a couple nights. We went out with them. That was pretty fun. They were big at the time. The one that kind of is funny. I didn't hang out with this guy at all, but it was just it was just surreal. Was I met Mike Tyson in Vegas one night in the club. We were there for the preseason game when LA played Colorado, and we got in and we dropped our bags. We went out and Mike's got a table right beside us, so we all got to chat with him for a little bit when he just got the face tattoo and the whole thing. And then the one really funny one was back in the day, Commie. I don't know. You might have been in the mix a little bit, but Dennis Rodman had a club in his house in LA in Hermosa Beach or Manhattan Beach or one of them. And we went back there one night and he was holding court. And that was pretty interesting in 2002, somewhere in there.
He used to have a bar. I met him once briefly. It would have been when I got, he used to have a bar in Newport Beach, was it?
Yeah.
I think it was
called.
Yeah,
it was in Newport. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, okay. I met him at his bar once. We went there. This was in the summer. Interesting looking dude, that guy. That was for sure. But I never went to his house, though.
Yeah, he had it was his own, it was a club after, we were at Sharky's or whatever, and then we all...
Look at how serious Commie got. Just hey, by the way, I never went to his house. Locked in. He is locked in. No messing around. No. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so
lots of random
that's awesome.
Ones.
Yeah, lots of random ones. Well, I'm sure you would have crossed paths with Gord Downey.
Well, that Gord was that. I'm actually
guy.
was friends with Gord. Yeah, that turned into an unbelievable relationship for me. We were obviously Kingston, Belleville. We'd see each other, go to dinner in the summers, and I didn't miss a show. So lots of time with Gord, which is of course
That's a big deal.
Canadian. Yeah, as Canadian as
a real big deal, actually. Yeah, those guys were awesome.
There's a guy who was like kind of Canada's unofficial prime minister. I
Correct.
think.
Yeah, that's a good one
for sure.
Okay, it's Christmas. It's the holiday season. We take a look around and give thanks and have moments. And there's the quirks and the holiday shopping and the festivities. It sometimes is a bit of a dip in the action, but it's also World Junior time. What about for you guys? Is there a holiday party? Is there a moment? Is there a story that you can look back and think, man, it brings a smile to your face from a holiday stand, whether a game, a moment, a party, a gift? Kami, what comes to mind for you?
Two come to mind for me. My first Christmas ever as a professional hockey player. I was in New Jersey. I was down in the minors, and then I got called up, probably call it like mid-November. And so I stayed up. So now it's Christmas. I'm in New Jersey by myself, and, family's nowhere near. They're all out in Western Canada. And, I knew the guys, they were very good to me, but like sitting there for Christmas, I'm at the Turtlebrook Inn, a motel. I'm like, I got no plans. And Turtlebrook Inn. Yeah. He used to have to jump off the balcony to get out to go have a beer because Lou had people at the front door watching.
Yes.
Oh, God. I almost rolled my ankle one night doing that. But Marty Brodeur, he's like, oh, Mike, what are you doing for Christmas? Thinking he might like invite me over or something. I go, I don't know, Marty. He goes, you know what? Why don't you go to Atlantic City? I'm like, oh yeah, okay. He goes, I'll hook you up at a hotel. We can go down to Atlantic City. I'm like, all right. So I got in my car, drove to Atlantic City. I'd never been there before. I tell you what, one of the most depressing. So I go up to my room. I go down to the casino. I'm by myself. And I mean, I'm looking around. I'm having a beer. I'm like, look at these people here on Christmas. And I'm sitting here hanging out. And I literally stayed down there for a little bit. I'm like, this stinks. I went up to my room, went to sleep. The next morning, I just drove back to the Turtlebrook Inn. So that one sucked. Fast forward about a decade. I'm now in Columbus, and I'm like the older guy now. We had some young guys, and I'm like, man, if anybody is around here and they're younger or whoever, and they don't have somewhere to go, I'm going to be the guy to host them. So, try and be a leader and everything. So a few of the guys, there was 5 or 6 guys staying right down by the rink. I'm like, what are you guys doing for Christmas? They're like, well, we got no plans. I'm like, come on over. I'm cooking dinner. They're like, oh, okay. They're all fired up. So I'm like, I'm not a cook. So I'm like, I should try and make something nice. So I went and bought a bunch of pheasant, and I put the guys come over. Obviously, we got a bunch of drinks. I put these pheasant in the oven, and we proceed to get loaded. And I'm sitting there, and everybody's having a good time. And all of a sudden, there's banging on the door. I'm like, who is that? Maybe. So I open up the door. It's the fire department. I had forgot about my pheasant. And it was like, I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? And they were fucking pissed off. They're like, what's burning in here? I go, what are you talking about? I'm cooking dinner. And I turned back, and I kind of clued in. I looked, and there was like a haze all over. The fire alarm had gone off. The pheasant was torched. I think we ended up ordering Chinese food or something like that. But everybody had a good time. But I tell you what, the fire department was pissed off. Anyways, those are the two that come to mind for me.
Oh, it's so
Merry
good.
Christmas, you filthy animal.
Why do I have to go second after this guy? It's so
No
annoying.
kidding.
I have to go second.
Yeah, we got to save Kami for last in these moments. You're right.
Seriously. The Atlantic City one. I get like that. That place is depressing as shit on the best of days, let alone Christmas.
It was so bad, Razor. I still remember like looking around. I'm like, and I tried to make a go of it. Like, I'm like, okay, just get a few drinks in you. You'll have a good time. So I pound a couple drinks, and I'm like, I don't even know if I talked to anybody. Like, I'm like, this sucks. Oh, it's like all dudes and it was awful. Depressing.
That is just too funny. Well, we had what caught a lot of steam in Boston the first few years I was here was the 2-3 party. So we always played at home on the 23rd in Boston. And we had young guys like Nick Boynton, Joe Thornton, Bergie, myself. We had a good little crew. And we just picked up the 2-3 party. It just started picking up steam. And Joe would be very good at, like, you know, he'd get into something and then his buddies would make invitations. And we did this whole thing. Like, it was this big elaborate party that we were going to throw. And no one was allowed to bring their girlfriends or wives. And like, he just like did it up. Like, it just like built so much suspense for this. And like the married guys started getting into it. And we had this bar all roped off and like invite only, like no one was allowed to go. So like this whole buzz in the city at some point by all the way through December, like it was like trying to get in. And Joe wanted like the red carpet laid out and he wanted the velvet ropes around the bar. And like everyone had to get dressed up for it. And we could barely play the game on the 20th, like, because we were so excited for this big party after the game. So it was the 2-3 party. And over 4 or 5 years, the 2-3 was all we talked about. Like December 1st, it was all about the 2-3 for the rest of the month. And I'll never forget going and doing that. And just it always kind of flamed out too, right? Like you'd get into the bar and then you're like, well, you know, that was fun. And you just a regular bar night, but the build up was what it was all about to get everybody excited for it.
Well, you didn't light a pheasant on fire for that one?
Exactly. Like, how do I follow that up?
How do you top that up?
Joe Thornton does seem like the kind of guy, though, that I've never really hung out with him. I met him once and he was very outgoing. He does seem like the kind of guy that can put some thrill into just about anything. Like when he's into something, he gets very into it and he's fired
all
up.
In.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it just
fun guy to be around.
Yes, it makes everybody enthusiastic, right? Like everybody would get it. Like even again, the married guys with 4 kids are like, I have to do the 2-3 party. Like I'll be home on Christmas Eve at some point, but I'm doing this party.
Joe had an older brother,
Alex. Alex was in Boston.
You know what?
So
an honorary shout out to Alex, because I fired it up with Alex at a World Hockey Championship in Austria going back 20 years ago, and he was a lot of fun.
No, he was a ringleader as much as anyone too.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. Okay, yeah. The only thing I would throw out from a Christmas story that kind of comes to mind, for about 6 years, I covered the World Juniors religiously, kind of mid-2000s, and a lot of those tournaments would happen over in Europe. So, you know, kind of bachelor days, head off to Europe and spend a month living out of a suitcase, which, you know, you're in, you know, pretty good cities for the most part. Great experience to see the world on the company dime. And TSN, when you would go to Europe, they were normally, everything was put on expenses in those days prior to going to per diem. But they would give you the option when you would go to Europe and say, look, do you want $100 US or you can just expense things? And being on the road for about 3 weeks, like, I'm sure you guys can appreciate this. Some, you know, meals, like for a guy, both of you have played in Europe, but hotels there, nice big buffet for breakfast, right? Sort of brunch. So it's like, well, I don't have to pay for that meal. And it was like $100 US. It's like, you know what? Some of those trips, you can kind of come away with money. You can kind of pocket cash, right? You guys know the routine here.
Yeah.
I decided I'd go with per diem instead of expenses. So I was there overseas with Gord Miller, Pierre McGuire at the time, and we're going out, and those two were on expenses. So like kind of riding shotgun with those guys, like, yeah, gone out for a bite or two. They'd pick up the tab and just kind of sign off on it. And it was like, okay, yeah, you know, I'm pocketing my per diem money. Well, everything Christmas Eve in Europe, the world shuts down. Like everything's closed. Everything is closed. It doesn't matter what European city, unless it's maybe an Irish pub, like the world is shut down. So we are eating, I think, at the Sheraton in Stockholm this year. And this is Christmas 2006. It's the year that Carey Price and Jonathan Taves stole the show at the in the shootout against the US. So we're sitting down for dinner, and like, I want to say, like, the price for a meal is, I mean, it's already expensive in Sweden to begin with. Now you're jacking up prices Christmas Eve. I think the bill comes, and I want to say it was about $400 a plate to have dinner per person, right? And so we're sitting there, like it was not nothing, right? Or at least $300 or whatever. And so I'm sitting down with my camera guy Dean Willers, myself. There's Gord, there's Pierre, and I think Pierre's father Rex. So Pierre and Pierre's father, they get up, Gordon Pierre is, they've kind of signed off on me, but not realizing I'm on per diem. They just, all right, Sebal, it's your turn and just, you can sign off on this one. Right. And then they kind of get up and leave, not realizing that I've kind of signed up for the per diem experience on this trip. Right. And they kind of walk away and I'm just kind of doing the quick math in my head. I'm like, holy shit. Like,
you're not eating for 4 days.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to be able to eat for the next, this is the night before, like the tournament hasn't even started yet.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, oh my God, like I can't afford to eat the rest of this trip. Right. And Dean, to his credit, my camera guy, and he played for years in the International League way back in the 70s and 80s. And he caught it. He recognized, he's like, he's like, listen, man, if you want, I can split it with you. And I'm like, I'm just going to get through the holidays and I'll cross this bridge in January when I get back to Canada. And anyway, at the end of our stay in Stockholm, I'm checking out and they send the invoice. I asked for the invoice and the bill and everything is in Swedish. So like the translation, you can't really translate. So I've got my laundry on there and everything. And so get back to Toronto, time to file the expenses in mid-January. And you know what? It might as well be in hieroglyphics. Does the accounting department really speak Swedish?
Probably not.
I'm just going to throw this receipt in and hope for the best. And what do you know? It cleared.
Oh, perfect.
So, thank God it paid for it. But Christmas miracle comes through. And it was like, oh my God, how am I going to afford to eat for the next 3 weeks? And thankfully, the receipt came in Swedish. And the accounting department, they did not have a forensic Swedish person in there. So
thank you, TSN. Good job.
Thank you, TSN, and the Christmas miracle, as you mentioned. And we say this, happy holidays to everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out on this edition. And we'll be back with one more, wrapping up the new year. And don't forget those Saturday special picks. You can play them on Bodog. We're going to have a blast. You can come through and win because we're due. We're due. For Kami, for Razor, I'm Cebulski. See you next time on the Clearing the Crease podcast.